is that revise your notes so many times that you can't really even do it anymore. It is a marathon and not a sprint. It's something that our teachers kept repeating to us, so I just kept repeating it to myself as well, okay? I didn't clear the FMG exam by studying all day. I cleared it by learning how to balance everything around studying. कैसे पढ़ना है ये आपने बहुत वीडियोस में सुना होगा, बट एक्चुअली में वो पढ़ाई करने के लिए जो आपको मेंटल स्ट्रेंथ चाहिए, उसके लिए आपको क्या क्या करना है, ये मैं आपके लिए डिस्क्राइब करने वाली हूँ अभी. Hi guys, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. I'm Dr. Alisha Kumar. I did my MBBS from Russia and I recently cleared the FMGE exam with a score of 211 marks in my first attempt. Let's get started without wasting any time. I've broken down my preparation into components. It will be time stamped, not just academics, but things like physical health, mental health, everything else that plays a very crucial role in this exam that is often not spoken about in this much detail. So first things first, let's get this out of the way, the academics part. Of course, no compromise on this. It is the backbone. This is an exam. You have to study. First of all, limit yourself to only one resource, which means that you have one video resource, one resource to solve questions. It could be the same or different, whatever you trust, and one resource where you mainly solve all your GTs from, so that you have a baseline analysis and you can keep comparing yourself. You can't keep solving GTs, from example, from multiple different platforms and then compare the scores, because that's not a fair way to analyze your progress in any way, okay? But let me tell you one thing. There is an exception to this, which most people don't talk about. For example, if you've studied ENT from a particular resource that you're using to study all your subjects from, and तुमको उसमें कुछ भी नहीं समझ में आया, and it's your first read, what should you do? If you feel like, actually I'm not able to understand anything and might as well give up on that subject, stop, switch your resource and use something else, because this is not some very hard and fast rule. I would say that out of all 19 subjects, you can do this for one or two subjects. That's it. Focus on understanding, please. So you cannot clear the FMG exam by just memorizing facts. It's not like that anymore. I'm sure you're aware of the recent pattern changes. It is just very close to the NEET exam. So you have to have basic understanding, somehow build it. I used so much of ChatGPT and basic like videos, basic textbook knowledge just to build certain concepts that I did not have or but that weren't strong. If you don't have a strong base, you can't build a building on top of it. Basic logic, and it's something that we tend to ignore because we're lazy or we think we have less time. But trust me, even if you have less time and you're only building without any base, it will collapse so easily. On the exam day, you'll feel like you've heard certain words because you memorized them, but you're not able to recall exactly what you read around it, and which is necessary now because all four options are so close to each other. This is something that I'm sure everybody speaks about, but revisions are everything. General rule of the thumb that I would give you is that revise your notes so many times that you can't really even do it anymore. Like, you should be able to recall page numbers when you're reading questions. It should be that good. Like, aim for that, okay? There is no set number of times ki, please tell me how many times should I revise my notes, like 3 times, 4 times. No, how much ever you can do, and however strong or weak you feel a subject is, those many times you have to do it. It's extremely subjective. Also, you can use questions to revise as a revision tool. Very smartly choose topics, read the explanations, and use that as a revision tool as well, when if and when you don't feel like opening your notes. PYQs should be your priority, but not the only thing that you're solving. Please, you can't depend on it completely, okay? It'll just give you an idea of the important topics. As I said, PYTs over PYQs any day. Understand this and remember this. And let me tell you, PYTs for most of the exams are same. So your order should be: first, complete multiple rounds of the FMGE PYQs of all years, whatever you can get your hands on. Move on to NEET PG PYQs. And lastly, when you're confident in these, move to INICT PYQs as well. There's a feature called mixed bag feature that I've used on the app that I was using, which again I can talk about if you guys want to know what I was using. Um, in that, I used to choose FMGE as well as NEET PG PYQs, so it used to give me as a mixed bag, so I used to not feel anxious that I'm doing only the harder PYQs. From the start, from your first GT, whatever your weak subject is, keep that as your main focus. It should be written somewhere that this subject is something I have to keep repeating at regular intervals. You cannot just give up on a subject thinking that this is the weak subject for me. Make it strong. Again, this requires for you to understand very well how you're supposed to analyze GTs in detail. There are many videos about this on YouTube, and I will be making a video about this as well in the future. So stay tuned for that. Next, one of the most important parts, you cannot study properly if you don't know how to manage your time and have a proper routine. Firstly, you need to have a flexible but structured routine. Figure out whether you're a morning or a night person. Make a whole timetable for yourself on the basis of that. Don't copy anybody. If you have ever woken up later than you wanted to, or for example you've overslept, you're not feeling well, you have any sort of personal issue due to which you were not able to follow your routine for some reason, please don't feel guilty. Whatever you have left of the day, use that. Like there were days when, for example, if I was sick, I would not study from videos or do any intense tasks that would require my brain too much. I would just passively solve questions, and that was also part of my preparation. So I did not feel like I did nothing at least. And another thing, if you're feeling very overwhelmed and it's affecting your routine, affecting your ability to study, just go for a really long walk, do something that you enjoy, get back at it as soon as possible. Don't feel guilty. Have a morning revision habit, which means whatever time is morning for you, it doesn't mean it's 7 a.m. For me, morning was mm, like 10 a.m. Okay, so as soon as you wake up, when you if you are comfortable studying before breakfast, you can do that. If after, for me, I need food in my system for my brain to start working. So after breakfast, I used to make it a point to revise my weak subject for around 30 minutes every day, or even 1 hour, depending on what subject I have to revise as my main revision on that day. And for me, one of the biggest game changers was to attend live classes, which meant I didn't have that sort of resistance, or I didn't have to rely on my own personal motivation. So in the evenings, I was sorted, but in the morning, when you have your own time, you have to have a proper routine which you're going to follow every day. Make a list of your daily goals every single day when you wake up, or you can do it at night as well, like you're going to sleep and what you want to do tomorrow. Make a list of that and tick mark the things as in when you're doing it. It'll give you some sort of satisfaction to tick mark it, trust me, or just like highlight or scratch it off. Okay, this should be scaled up, and you should make weekly goals and also scale it up to monthly goals. So you have 3 lists: daily wala, one monthly, one like weekly. Okay, and for me what worked the best is broader, even more broad lists, like revision goals. For example, revision 1, what is my timetable for the first revision subject wise? So how many days do I give to one subject? And I had break days in between, so that if I have any backlog, which mostly everyone has backlogs, right? Like sometimes things don't go according to your plan, and instead of feeling guilty, you should remember that yes, I have an extra day and I'll use it for that. So just be calm. Schedule the free day also, like make a schedule for that free day, that whatever backlog you have, page numbers or just whatever subject topics those are, you cover them properly even on your backlog. It should not be a day that you're simply chilling and just doing whatever you want. One very important component now, mental health and burnout. This exam's preparation requires consistency and not perfection, absolute perfection by any means. It is a marathon and not a sprint. It's something that our teachers kept repeating to us. So I just kept repeating it to myself as well. Okay. So to do this, you have to accept all of your low days. Every day is not going to be the same, but try to make it sort of similar. Your highs and your lows should not be like very, very far apart. Avoid any sort of comparison with your like friends or batchmates. Limit your communication as much as you can. Okay, like I can't say this enough, you have to manage your anxiety. Like if you do feel anxious at any point of time, for example, have regular breaks. Don't make over ambitious timetables. Okay, also breaks are of two types. There are shorter breaks and longer breaks. Shorter breaks, of course, you will have after study periods, and longer breaks, for example, you have half a day off on one day of the week. Schedule it from before so that you have something to look forward to every day until that break comes. There's a big role of physical activity in managing your stress and anxiety levels. Don't neglect that. Don't just keep sitting in one place the whole day. And of course, do whatever hobby or stress buster that works for you. For me, for example, it was like just to make some simple good meal for myself, even though I stayed at home and I didn't have to. It was just like a stress buster for me. Let's come to the part of physical health. For me, I went to the gym every alternate day. It was like a non-negotiable for me. And for me, gym was more of like a part of my regular routine rather than something that I did for fun or something like that. It was a part of my lifestyle. I had integrated it into my lifestyle back in Russia. So I didn't want to let that go, let that good habit go. I would suggest you to also like incorporate some sort of physical activity into your like daily routine. I went on regular walks every single night after dinner. I went on a long, like half an hour walk, and that helped me a lot, like just stay sane. Of course, proper meals, proper hydration, all of that. Now, sleep is very important, okay? Don't be sleeping 4 or 5 hours, please. Like, I think it would be more like counterproductive. I used to sleep 7 hours minimum. Again, non-negotiable, bare minimum. You have to do it, okay? How much ever time you're given, try to optimize that. Try to use it to the best of your abilities, but don't try to cut down on vital things like sleep, family, and social life. Spend intentional time with your family. It could be in whatever way that you feel comfortable. Have very clear boundaries with them. Social life with friends, I'm not even going to talk about it. It's something that I did not have slash didn't care about at that time. When I'm speaking about clear boundaries with your family, there are two types of students. One's for studying online versus offline. It's different for both, let me tell you. If you're studying offline, which means you are at some place and your family lives somewhere else and you're attending coaching, it's a bit easier for you because you're not around them. So you just have to call them at a regular time of your day whenever you're free. That is more easy relatively to sort of follow. But if you're studying online like I did, it was a lot harder for me to establish this sort of boundary. But yes, I had to be very strict with it, and eventually it became normal, in our house to not disturb me while I'm studying. Avoid long distractions regularly, which means that in my FMG preparation, I think took 2 to 3 full days off with no guilt, but I would not suggest you to do more than that. One of them was my birthdays, and I felt little guilty. I'm not even gonna lie, but now that I look at it, I shouldn't have even felt guilty. So I was outside the whole day on my birthday, and that's something that I had planned as a long break that I spoke about previously, and I was looking forward to it the whole month. You can definitely easily take 2 to 3 full days off of enjoyment. Not that if you're sick, that's a completely different kind of reason to take a break. Enjoyment days off, okay? You can take 2 to 3 comfortably. Lastly, don't shy away from getting the kind of support or help that you need. Stay in touch with your family. Don't let yourself marinate in any sort of negative thoughts of yours, okay? The second last point, distractions and discipline. Non-negotiable, your phone cannot be around you while you're studying. Just don't even try it. I have tried it, and the days that I had my phone around, I was significantly less productive than I was when my phone was not even to be seen around me. Like I shouldn't even be able to see a part of my phone around. Okay, so I would leave my phone in some other room and be studying in some other room, and it would be off and like on airplane mode or something, and it didn't exist for me. Social media limits don't exist. Just uninstall it altogether. Okay, you don't need it. Nothing will change in the span of 6 months or 1 year. Just don't use it. Lastly, this is a point I'm going to repeat again, but it's so important, and I cannot say this enough. Revision. You have to do multiple revisions, non-negotiable. Don't think that you can even go and give one subject part without revising it. You cannot. You will not remember anything. Most of the subjects are extremely volatile. Keep shortening your notes with each cycle of your revision, and in the end, you'll be left with very concise and beautiful notes. But do go back to your main bulkier notes from time to time so that you stay in touch with those as well. Focus more on the subjects that are volatile for you, which means, again, this is a subjective thing. If anatomy is volatile for me, maybe for you biochemistry is more volatile. So that should be your primary focus. Don't compare your weak slash volatile subjects with other people. So this is it for this video. You must have realized by now that the FMG exam is not just a knowledge test. It's a test of how well you manage yourself, like your health, your mental health, everything during the preparation. And if you're preparing right now, just keep this thing in your mind that every day will not be the same. You don't have to be perfect every single day. Just keep showing up for yourself every day. The promises that you make to yourself, the subjects that you're supposed to complete, keep doing it, keep making steps towards progressing and getting things done. You just have to be consistent enough to not give up. And trust me, if I can do it, then so can you. All the best. Thank you guys so much. I hope this video was helpful for you. I will be making many such videos. So do like if you like this video, share it with your friends who are preparing for this exam, and subscribe for more such videos.